All right. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to this initial session of our new webinar series, The Power of Niagara. We are really grateful for your participation today. I'm also a little bit excited and a little bit nervous because that's the very first session, and I'm keen to get your feedback on how do you find everything. So my name is Mike Althoff, and I am part of the EMEA business development team. And yeah, some of you may already met me personally or on a conference call or a Teams meeting. And I will be moderating and presenting this series of webinars to you. Today, I'm joined by Eric Cook, representing our today's tech partner, Accruent. And he will be presenting on our today's topic, which is overcoming data connectivity challenges. And this is a topic that we have identified as one of the major pain points for our customers and prospects. And welcome, Eric, and thank you for presenting today. So one information upfront to all of you: we're going to record this session and we're going to provide it afterwards to review online or download via our websites. Before we begin our presentation, which is going to be the most interesting part of today's session, I would like to take a moment and discuss the agenda, but also the Power of Niagara web series. So what to expect and what are we aiming for with this new format. So you all know Niagara, and we as the business development team has developed this platform for the community and by the community. So as you know, our mission is to establish relationships with new customers and create demand for Niagara-based solutions, while also connecting with partners, specifiers, consultants, system integrators, and of course, distributors to enable Niagara-based opportunities and develop existing installations with new features and functions. So this series aims to bring all of these parties together, allowing them to present their success stories to the community, showcase their Niagara-based application, highlight new features and functions, or share exciting new dashboards with both the community, prospects, and customers to provide additional value and probably unleash features and functions that are not currently being used, or somebody may not even be aware that they exist. So our goal is to demonstrate the power of Niagara and provide additional value, creating 360-degree solution for specific branches, such as retail, logistics, data center. So yeah, we will be running this format on a bi-monthly or quarterly basis, and we welcome topic requests and offers to present from the community. But we will also be reaching out proactively to you and ask for some presentation time. As this is our first session, we highly appreciate your feedback, questions, comments, but also criticism and your feedback. Please reach out to me directly or to any member of our business development team, which is Rob Bartman as the head of the EMEA business development, but also Frank Blumensat, that you already may know, Nigel, or myself. All right. So this format will be further developed based on your input. So please provide us with your feedback. And thanks again for joining us today. And before I finally hand over to Eric, some words on Q&As and housekeeping in general. So we're going to provide some Q&A time after the presentation, but you also have the opportunity to use the Q&A button in the Zoom meeting if you have questions during the meeting. And we're going to make sure that all questions will be answered during or after the session. For instance, if the time that we set for Q&A is not enough to answer all your questions, we make sure we're going to answer them afterwards. And then we publish them. And as said, we're going to record this session, and it can be reviewed on both Tridium and Accruent websites afterwards. And we also going to publish the answers and the questions that come up during the session. So that's being said, I'm happy to hand over to Eric. Yeah, Eric, the stage is yours. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to share my screen there for you. All right. Hi, everyone. So thanks again, Mike, for that. And thanks to everyone for joining us today. As Mike introduced, my name is Eric Cook, and I'm Accruent's Director of Global Go-to-Market Solutions. I've worked in the operations management software world for 27 years. In my free time, just so you know a little bit about me, I'm a huge fan of science fiction books, and I've recently started woodworking on the weekends. By the way, I don't recommend that you do that. It's very, very expensive. So let me start with Accruent's tagline. So our tagline is unifying the built environment. But what do I mean by that? From a simple explanation, our goal is to simplify the operation of every distinct environment built by humans to support work and life. So I'm going to go through with you today what it is that we do at Accruent, and I'm going to end with where our specific partnership with Tridium comes in. So the built environment is basically everything that's around you that's been built by human hands. Now, we focus mostly on the work part side of that. So it's the building you work in, the technology that manages your workflows and processes, and the physical and digital assets that you work with every day. All built environments are different. We know that every industry and organization has its own needs and challenges, but what every built environment has in common is that it's connected and complex. As your business grows and evolves, so do your needs for efficient and effective management of how people use and maintain the spaces that you're responsible for. Solving these problems is the reason that Accruent exists. Since everything around us is deeply connected in many ways, our processes must be too. Accruent provides comprehensive SaaS and hybrid SaaS solutions that can help your organization streamline these processes. Our goal is to provide solutions that make your built environment work better for the people who interact with it every day. Our solutions cover the entire life cycle of built environments, and we know not all of them fit with every organization, but I think it's important to give you the broad strokes so that you can see our vision. Starting with planning, financing, contracting, and construction project management, we can help you set the foundation for managing properties, whether you own or lease them. Once build-outs are completed, your space must be properly managed so that people can get the most out of it. We can assist you with solutions that manage how space is used, but also how people interact with that space. This includes processes like space reservation, and hot desk or hoteling environments, but extend to managing public spaces, performing event management, and other types of resource reservation. All spaces have assets that need to be managed, and some are more complex than others. You need them to function at their best to maintain safety standards and productivity. Our solutions will also help you control the asset lifecycle and maintain engineering documentation to foster better collaboration, quicker resolution of issues, and fewer mistakes. Your assets and spaces need to be maintained, and our solutions will help you do so by simplifying the process of managing work orders and the life cycle around them. We focus on solutions that allow people to request maintenance and fulfill requests, all while aligning processes across your organization, whether you're in a single location or across the globe. And finally, as we move into Industry 4.0, the use of smart technology is enabling machines to connect to each other and to the internet so that they can communicate and exchange data and make decisions in real time. Our solutions are designed to meet the challenge and opportunities that this revolution is presenting by allowing you greater flexibility and responsiveness in all your operations. And this is where I'll spend the last part of the presentation, because I think this is probably the most interesting piece to this audience. So let me start off by just talking about what we do in general and giving you some examples of how we've helped customers in the past. So at the start of every building or space is a construction, leasing, or remodeling project. Our solutions are designed to help with these processes in several ways. And they start with market research and site selection, where we can help assess market conditions and forecast future performance of a location so that people can make data-driven decisions to get to revenue faster. This typically applies to retail, restaurant, commercial real estate, and the healthcare sectors. However, there are other organizations that also need to do this for various reasons. We also offer comprehensive lease administration and accounting solutions so that you can manage your entire real estate portfolio and easily integrate into financial, property management, asset management, and IT systems for compliance with regulations such as FASB, IASB, and GASB. Once a site is chosen or a lease is signed, we offer a solution for managing construction projects to ensure proper resource alignment, better management of the RFI process, time management, and data-driven decision-making. Sorry, say that 3 times fast. So let me, at the end of each one of these sections, I'm also going to talk just a little about what we've done for customers. So I'll start off with this one. So there are a couple examples, I think, that are really interesting when it comes to property. So one is we helped a major US retailer restructure their operations and enabled them to streamline their contracting process. This gave them timely data about location costs and helped them compare properties across their portfolio, and they were able to consolidate underperforming sites and reduce headcount. We also recently engaged with a large worldwide restaurant brand to help them better coordinate store construction and renovation. And this allowed them to have a single source of truth for all lease, contract, and project data that integrates with their financial systems. In both of these cases, and I think this is important to point out, we didn't just give them a solution that gave them a better data and better control of their data. They're actually seeing real money savings from the ability to have everybody on the same page and have all of their contractors and employees seeing the same data at the same time. So let's go into the next section. So managing spaces can be complex and frustrating, but it doesn't need to be. So whether you're managing workspaces, public spaces, communal areas, your experience has likely changed a lot since the COVID pandemic. I know a lot of companies are starting back to work initiatives. Some of them, most of them are doing hybrid work, and some of them are still trying to figure out how they're going to do that. But every organization needs to adapt to hybrid work in a different way. For some, it may mean that they're having to reorganize how people use existing space. And for others, it means downsizing and dealing with smaller spaces. In many of our customers, we see the use of conference rooms on the rise, and others have adapted to new ways to offer hoteling solutions. In addition to this, many customers have experienced a large demand for other scarce resources, such as parking spaces, lockers, IT equipment, just to name a few. All of these issues need good management and precise data to improve how spaces work for your employees. When we work with our customers, we want to empower them to make better decisions about how their spaces are used so that they can get the most out of them. Our solutions in this area include space planning, desk, room and resource booking, and event management. All of those integrate into your important business systems and digital signage. And here's a couple of examples that I wanted to go through again of how we've actually helped people with those type of solutions. So because space planning is so critical in today's environment, there's a few different ways that we help people, and I wanted to give some different examples. So one is that we recently helped one of the largest higher education systems in the United States use their existing spaces in better ways, which even led to the downsizing of a planned building. That literally saved them $25 million. And we also helped them save a lot of headaches from double booking and underutilized common and athletic areas. Another one that I'll point out this last one. So one of the largest counties outside London has been able to completely transform the way that they use space in a very security sensitive environment to ensure that security and to serve as a broad community, a very broad community of users, which includes both employees, government agencies, and the public, each of them have their own special needs that have to be accommodated there. They've also automated things like parking reservation, they've done risk assessments, and they're saving 300 hours a year on unnecessary IT requests. That alone is huge. Let me go on to the next section. So every built environment is an asset. So for example, a building is an asset, but it also contains assets, and they have to be maintained for the health, productivity, and safety of the people who use them. So we believe that good asset management starts with a solution that can not only keep track of your assets, but also lets you know how they're serving their purpose. Our solutions are tailored to ensure that you get the maximum life out of your assets. We enable this by helping you manage spare parts, perform purchasing that's integrated with your finance systems, work across multi-site environments, and enabling your mobile workforce to manage assets from anywhere. To keep your assets working their best, you need a way to manage both on request and preventive maintenance. And Accruent provides maintenance and facility management solutions that are designed to make your teams more productive, to reduce paperwork, and to work from any device, ultimately to provide the data you need to make improvements to your processes. Now, more complex assets require good engineering documentation management. Buildings, engineered products, and complex machinery are just a few examples. They typically have CAD drawings, bills of material, engineering reports, technical specifications and diagrams that have all been meticulously documented. However, these documents are frequently modified, and for the security, safety, and proper functioning of these assets, Accruent provides a market-leading engineering document management system that can manage document workflows, version control, collaboration, compliance, and security all in one solution. So now we've talked about that, you know that every asset ultimately has a cost, and they have ongoing costs too. So in order to get the most out of them, our customers have trusted us to help them. And here's a few we've partnered with. So one customer, for example, is a major air carrier, a major international air carrier. They use our maintenance solutions to provide better service, which reduces downtime, increases customer satisfaction, and improves their employee experience. Now, I just want to stick on that for just a second. So when we think of managing assets within a business, we don't necessarily think that even the internal assets we use are going to affect the experience of our customers, but ultimately they do, because if something we're not able to do, we may not be able to provide a service to the customer. So in this case, we provide them a safer environment for their passengers and their employees, while also allowing them to be more nimble in responding to customer requests. Accruent's engineering document management system enables a huge pharmaceutical company to manufacture life-saving drugs. I think we'd all agree that that's pretty important. And we do that by ensuring that their equipment documentation is up to date and can be audited by governments at any time. These are hugely regulated environments where we have to not only have exact up-to-minute documentation of what's going on, but how it's been maintained, and anyone who's touched it, and have a full audit trail. We've also saved them a huge sum of money by helping them sunset unnecessary additional software and hardware that wasn't fit for purpose. The last one I'll mention here is that grocery retailers, for example, also have a tremendous number of assets they rely on to manufacture products, keep them fresh, and sell them to consumers. One of the retailers we work with now has better control of their assets, and they understand the full history and life cycle, so they can ensure they're being maintained properly and replaced when needed before they fail. And I think that's something that's really important, because if you can imagine a giant refrigerated warehouse full of food, if that food spoils, the amount of cost that has to be performed in disposal and cleanup and just lost product can be immense. And we try to prevent those things by having good documentation and good work order management. So now let's talk about, I think, probably the area that's a little more interesting to this particular crowd. So as more organizations extend into using smart buildings and moving into Industry 4.0 and manufacturing, one of the problems we frequently encounter is that most of the sensors and systems that people have are not integrated or interconnected or even designed to operate together. And I'm sure you guys have all seen that. I'll give you a great example. I went to the Smart Buildings show earlier this year, and while I was there, I went and talked to a lot of different manufacturers of equipment, and each one of them had their own solution for managing that equipment that didn't talk to anybody else's solution and just provided a single console for what they did. That's no way to run a building, and certainly in a more complex environment, that would make using that technology almost impossible. So our solutions can help you make use of these disparate point tools and bring them all together so that we can monitor and report on their data. But we can also integrate and automate to provide better security, comfort, energy savings, and reduce on-site visits. You need to know where your energy comes from as well for these devices, and a lot of these devices are meant to monitor energy consumption, water consumption, and things like that. And so we want to be able to help you identify where there are issues, or to be able to forecast. We know that everyone's working to reduce energy wastage. They're trying to increase overall efficiency. They're trying to mitigate weather-based outages and reduce carbon emissions. Not only does it take the right data to do this, but it has to be accessible in real time if you're going to be able to make decisions quickly. Our energy management solutions help report and manage on energy, but also get better insights on how you can make changes for the better. And that wouldn't be complete without talking about sustainability and compliance with government regulations. There's a corporate, environmental, social governance policies. There's electrification goals. These are all important to businesses, but in many organizations, they're not just important, they're critical. So our solutions can help you operate more sustainably and provide vital reporting data by understanding the mix of energy you're using and monitoring refrigeration and HVAC systems. We want to make sure that you can meet sustainability goals, which can mitigate fines, entice investors, and increase shareholder value. And again, on the end of that section there, I'll also just mention a couple of things that we've done for customers. So when it comes to grocery, obviously they're one of the biggest users of energy. We wanted to help one of our customers who had a problem with reliability of equipment and in energy usage. So we helped them spend less on energy, waste less food due to spoilage, and we made a huge reduction in the number of maintenance visits they had to make. Savings, savings, and savings. We did this by monitoring and automating their refrigeration and air conditioning systems so that they can focus on their core business and significantly reduce their carbon footprint. On the other side of that, we've also helped just corporate businesses. So one of the leading facilities management companies came to us and asked us to help manage and lower the cost of heating and air conditioning systems across thousands of properties. We helped them build automation that works across interdependent systems to better control their environments for comfort and reduce energy wastage, all while automating work orders for anomalies that we detect. This is saving them a huge amount of money every month. So now I'll just wrap up and say that, we understand at Accruent that hidden within everyone's complex world of connected infrastructures and integrated workflows, there's endless opportunity. There's opportunity to look below the surface and beyond the chaos to unlock the value hidden in your complex systems and endless data points and gain deeper insight into your organization and use those insights to drive better performance across your business with the clarity and certainty you can only get from seeing the full picture. True digital transformation means replacing your siloed solutions and indecipherable data with clear processes, easy-to-use solutions, and measurable results. It also means automating your built environment to use the data that's being measured, collected, and input to benefit everyone. Because of our unique position in the market and our amazing people, we're the only vendor who can provide that 360-degree solution to solve all the built environment challenges. We believe the future is in using smart and autonomous technology to help your organization be more intelligent, nimbler, and more sustainable. But on the flip side, I'd be remiss if I didn't also make sure you are aware of the potential problems that are faced by keeping the status quo. In many of our conversations with organizations, their built environment is saddled with more systems to manage, more regulations to follow, and higher expectations from their workforce than ever before. To manage it all, they're investing in technologies such as mobile, IoT, cloud, big data, security, all to help their employees work more efficiently and safer. We know that everyone needs deeper insights so that they can make decisions with confidence. If they don't, they're risking discovering problems too late, being non-compliant with government regulations, making uninformed decisions with long-term consequences, and suffering large-scale security breaches. This all leads to more money needlessly spent in the long run. Somehow, in the pursuit of safety, optimization, and compliance, most companies are likely to end up with one-off siloed solutions and complicated, hard-to-decipher reports. And they still oftentimes don't have any more clarity or insight into making big picture decisions than they did before. So that's really what we do at Accruent. Now, I did want to just also give you a brief glimpse into our our sort of back end and what it is that we do at the core of our business to make sure that we're always innovating. And this isn't something that I usually show during a webinar, but I thought this was particularly apt for this audience, just so you know, not only our long history of doing what we do, because we've been in business for many, many years, but also what it is that we're doing to help build the future. So I wanted to spend a moment explaining how we innovate so that we can show you what it is we do and give you confidence in our ability to be a true partner and guide. I think this illustrates one of the more important ways that we are true partners with our customers and our partners. We're always working to innovate to solve problems for our end customers. Since we serve organizations of every kind, which I said at the beginning, those are from corporate to education, retail to healthcare, our methods of innovation have to be broad and impactful, but they still have to be specific for every industry. So to get great results for our customers, we follow a prescribed and adaptable process to make sure the problems we're solving are well understood and that our solutions are targeted and meaningful. So this starts with our ideation process, where we conceptualize the types of issues that we see in the market and in conversations with our customers, as well as using ideas from customer feedback about existing challenges they're facing and our team's experience about the problems that will be encountered in the future. In this process, we bring together a diverse cross-section of people to ensure that all points of view are heard. And this includes not only people from our company and our customers, but prospective customers, our partners' customers, and the general public for the industries that we're looking at. And once we've distilled these ideas, we take them back to that group and get their feedback. So this is essential for us to understand what's truly important and top of mind. We don't want to solve problems that don't exist. And we want to make sure that the problems we're solving are solved in a way that will deliver the results that customers want. It's critical that we listen to our customers so we can get them better business outcomes, and that the experience of our customers and the experience of using our products exceeds their expectations. In the last stage of this process, we develop prototypes to share with our internal teams and our customer advisors. This allows us to show how we propose to solve the problem that we validated. So once we've completed those, we go back to the same people who helped us define the problems and validate it. It's important that we get honest feedback so that we don't release a solution that doesn't fully solve the problem, or even worse, solves the problem in a way that wasn't intended. It's critical to know if we've hit the mark, which ensures that we're going to solve real world problems in a way that's easy to use, easy to report on, and easy to integrate with other systems. Innovation's at the heart of what we do, and we couldn't do it without the expertise, time, and feedback of our customers. So now I'm going to end with one more slide, which I think is probably the most interesting for both Tridium and Accruent partners. So while I appreciate the time so far, I do want to spend just a couple of minutes explaining what it is that Tridium and Accruent are going to do to work together to provide a better outcome for IoT command and control. Our goal here is to reduce complexity and increase time to value. As many of you know, the Niagara framework is able to collect data from virtually any IoT endpoint, whether it uses direct connections, gateways, external applications, or Niagara edge controllers. This powerful capability can be done via any protocol that the hardware supports. Simplifying the collection of data, Niagara normalizes the data and makes sure that it's usable in a way that we need it. And here's where Accruent comes in. Our VxObserve platform gets the data from Niagara and allows us to use our dashboards, use our extensible automation to automate analysis and response, which includes the ability to call any of our work order systems like Maintenance Connection, Famous 360, or Service Channel. It can process the data or run predictions to send control actions back to Niagara, and it can make recommendations and display information about energy consumption and perform cost analysis. As you can see from this diagram, together Tridium and Accruent offer a superior solution that provides a closed-loop IoT collection, analysis, and action process. And with that, I'm going to end with just introducing you to the rest of the Accruent team, just so you know who's who. I've already introduced myself, but ultimately, while I'm one of the presenters and one of the people who evangelizes our solution to the market, the people on the ground doing the really detailed hard work are our partner team, which are Peter Dimitriadis and Lisa de Grief Chodnicka. And then on our sales team in Germany, we have Benjamin Barth and Fabio Kraft. And in the UK, we have Tom Dolby. These are our team that are going to work with both Tridium, their partners, and their customers to help make what I've shown today a reality on the ground. And with that, Mike, I will turn it back over to you for Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Great stuff. Yeah, so we already got a question, and it is about how do you identify faults and opportunities on your customers' HVAC systems? Do you use same sort of FDD, fault detection and diagnostics?
Well, I'm going to answer this question in a non-technical way because I'm not a technical person anymore. So what we do is when we consume the data that's coming through, we can do anomaly detection, but we also have predefined rules that look for certain thresholds and things like that. So for example, if we're looking at a cooling system and we notice that there's a fan speed problem, or we notice that there is a variance in the recorded output of the device versus what's being received at the thermostat, we can help identify those type of anomalies to get an on-demand action done. So there is some fault detection, but there's also some machine learning that goes into learning the values and learning what an anomaly is.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions, please? Okay. So let's wait for a few more minutes if there are some more questions, and otherwise close this session then.
Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting for those, you know, I was thinking about you know, when we look at the complex collection of data, this is one of the biggest problems that we have with our solution, right? And this is why you know, the opportunity to partner with Tridium is so great for us, because we have the ability to take in data from systems. But what we don't have is we don't have the framework to collect it easily like Tridium Niagara does. If we do it, we have to literally do all of those connections manually and then hope there's a system we can interface with, right, to collect all the data. Where your solution does that automatically and normalizes the data so that when we get it, we don't have to worry about how it got there or how it was processed. And this is huge, because if we want to simplify the process, we not only have to do that collection of data, but we ultimately have to process it and get it back to do control actions. And I think that's a huge opportunity for us.
Okay.
So I saw the question that popped up here. I'll go ahead and ask it if that's all right. So how do you map?
Sure.
How do you map the data in VxObserve? Is it a manual job or is it automated? So that's the beautiful thing about the connection to Niagara, is because Niagara is going to tag all the data for us, and it's going to let us know what device that's for and how its data is laid out, so that we can provision the device. For example, if it's never sent data to us, we can provision it automatically through that automation and automatically understand all of the elements of that device. So it's completely automated. You can, of course, manually massage it if you need to, if you want to rename things or things like that. But by default, we're going to be able to automatically take care of all that. That's about as technical as I can get with a solution. So.
Well, yeah. If it gets too technical, we can ask our experts in the background to support us and then publish the answers. Okay, there's another one. Do you also do cost calculation and detect undetected faults? So yes, it does require integration with our CMMS systems, though, because ultimately we have to have a work order to do the cost calculation on, right? Because we can do cost calculation on basic downtime in VxObserve. So for example, if a device goes down because of a fault, we can of course record the downtime and do cost on that. But if
we also want to include the cost of the maintenance, the time it takes to repair, the parts cost and things like that, then that's what the integration with the CMMS does.
Okay. And maybe I have a question for you, Eric. So what's the typical time frame from, let's say, the customer decides to implement Accruent until he can run the first session with Accruent? So how long does it typically takes to set up and to install?
So that's one of the questions I would have to ask our technical people.
Okay.
I
All right.
I know because the majority of our time is spent setting up the connections to sensors, gateways, other applications and things like that. That's where the majority of our time actually is. Because the rest of it, creating dashboards from the data, creating actionable plans, those are quite simple. So the whatever time that is complex on our side actually gets completely negated by the integration into the Niagara framework.
But this means if you already run a Niagara instance within your organization, it's going to be an easy one to utilize Accruent's applications, dashboards, analytics, whatever comes with it.
It's going to be very easy because the moment data comes in, we can set that stuff up. That's the beauty of what we do, right? Is being able to take that data and structure it very, very quickly to take visual or automation action.
Okay. Brilliant. All right. I mean, we do have some time left. If there's any other questions, please ask. Otherwise, I have to thank you for your participation today. So I hope you find it useful. If not, let us know. If we need to change something, let us know. If you missed something, please let us know. If you got suggestions or requests for the very next session, please also reach out to us, to Rob, Frank, Nigel, myself, and we're going to make sure we're going to plan the very next session accordingly. So yeah, then thank you, Eric, for your time today and for your interesting presentation. And thanks, Danielle, by the way, for setting this up. I know it's early for you, so I really appreciate your support. And thanks to all of you for joining today's session. Again, hopefully it was useful and fruitful, and it built some knowledge on your side. And I hope to see you all on the very next session that we are about to plan now. So again, thank you very much. Have a great weekend and see you all soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.